drone at all times, never fly near aircraft, and enjoy responsibly. And Saging added, drones have significant potential, and the new drone code, which forms part of the basis of establishing a responsible attitude toward drone flight amongst consumers, will help to protect the safety of a wider aviation industry. As I've mentioned a few times since I've moved the last year, I actually live at the end of an airfield, and as much as I'd love a drone, I would not be able to use it where I am because I don't want to put not passengers really, because it's mainly people on private aircraft, but I don't want to put anybody at risk by flying a drone where it could cause problems, and you have to wonder why people are doing it. And it's good to see that the code's come out, but to be honest, where you fly a drone has got a lot to do with common sense, and if people are ignoring safety already, are they going to pay any attention to the code? We'll just have to see. If you have a drone, what do you use it for? If you've got some videos that you want to share, just post them at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Just say, here's my drone video, because I'm interested to see how people are using them.
If you're going abroad by plane, boat, or the family car. If you're going abroad for pleasure or business. There's one essential thing to do before you go. Check the expiry date on your European Health Insurance card. You can renew it up to 6 months before it expires. Visit nhs.uk/healthcare abroad or call 0845 606 2030. Bon voyage!
Checking it out before you check in on the John Guinn Travel Show on ukhealthradio.com. And now for the travel equivalent to the Jaffa Cake. Is a Jaffa Cake a cake or a biscuit? Well, is Uber a taxi or a transport company or something else? And the company's going to be arguing in Europe that it is a mobile platform for connecting things and not a car or taxi service. This is according to a story on the Skift webpage. Uber will seek to convince Europe's top court next week that it is a digital service, not a transport company, in a case that could determine whether app-based startups should be exempt from the strict laws meant for regular companies. According to Skift, the European Commission is trying to boost e-commerce, a sector where the EU lags behind Asia and the United States, to drive economic growth and to create jobs. Uber, which is an American taxi app, I'm sure you've heard of it, was launched in Europe 5 years ago and has faced severe opposition from regular taxi companies, especially the black cab drivers in London, and some local authorities. This is because they fear it creates unfair competition because it is not bound by strict local licensing and safety rules. However, supporters of Uber say that rigid regulatory obligations protect incumbents and hinder the entry of digital startups, which offer looser work arrangements for workers in the 28th country European Union. And these workers apparently are looking for more flexibility, but without the basic rights. Uber has found itself in the dock under Barcelona's main Barcelona's main taxi operator alleged that in 2014 it was running an illegal taxi service. The case concerns its Uber Pop service, which the company halted after the lawsuit. Uber has said that it's a digital platform that connects willing drivers to customers and is not a transport service. The Spanish judge subsequently sought guidance from the Luxembourg-based European Union Court of Justice. As a ruling characteristic of Uber as a transport service could expose it to stricter rules on licensing, insurance and safety, the possible knock-on effects of other startups such as home rental company Airbnb could start coming into play. This case has drawn global interest. The Netherlands, where Uber has its European headquarters, Finland, Poland, Greece and the European Free Trade Association, EFTA, have submitted written observations that tend to support Uber. Spain, France and Ireland in their submissions say that Uber is a transport service. A grand chamber of 15 judges will hear the arguments, with more than 200 participants signed up for the hearing. I have to say that I believe that Uber is a transport service and not a connector of things, but what about you? Do you think that it is a connector of willing drivers and customers, or is it really a taxi service? This one could go on for a while. You never know how this judgment's going to go, but what about you? What do you think? Are you on Uber's side, and you want lack of regulation and health and safety so you can progress with your business and get it going? Or do you think that they should have the same rules as everybody else? Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show is the place to post your comments. Sticking with online providers of travel tools and Barcelona, Airbnb and Home and Away have hit back after the Spanish city has hit them with a fine. The rental and sharing out giants have each been slapped with a $635,000 fine over alleged permit issues within the city. Administrators have said that the pair has flouted regulations for advertising tourist accommodation that has not been authorised to host tourists on their properties, which is a repeated offence dating back to December last year. Home and Away and Airbnb say that allowing homeowners to rent out their properties has undeniable benefits to the region, supports local businesses and helps spread the placement of travellers into different areas, which the Home and Away claims is relieving pressure on certain touristic zones. But regional laws in the Catalonia enclave say that any apartment or property that is being used to share or rent to tourists must have a permit organised by the Tourism Registry. Home and Away says it, alongside reserving the right to appeal the fine, is working with homeowners on the issue. Airbnb says it is standard by the decision to impose a fine on the company that it will appeal the ruling. An official says that Airbnb is part of the solution in Barcelona. We want to be good partners in cities and we will proactively seeking collaboration with Barcelona to maintain this dialogue and support regular people who share their homes. Sharing and rental companies are concerned that the existing legislation in the city of Barcelona is confusing for owners, with multiple layers of local government apparently issuing mixed messages about the new concept of the sharing accommodation to tourists. A darker angle to their frustration is that Barcelona is considered by some to be biased towards the hotel industry, with the renting sharing model seen to be a threat to the status quo and not in the interest of boosting the wider economy and supporting residents who want to earn additional income. I haven't used Airbnb or Home and Away myself, but I've recommended their properties in the past to customers, and when it comes to Home and Away, I've been extremely impressed with the UK office and the way they do customer service. So I can't really comment because I'm not shared, but I know many people who are happy using this service when they come to book an accommodation. There are the odd stories, which I share as well, about the mishaps that can happen. But anyway, what about you? Are you regularly using Airbnb, Home and Away, or such websites to book your accommodation so you don't stick in a hotel, you're going somewhere else? Are you concerned that you could be staying somewhere that's a death trap or in a dodgy area? Or are you just happy to find somewhere cheap to stay? Please do share your feelings on sharing accommodation websites such as Airbnb and Home and Away at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. You can keep up to date with travel news and leave me a message at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. I'm sure you're all aware that the Brexit vote and the Donald Trump vote has caused one or two heated arguments over the last few months and weeks. Combined with an aeroplane, then it can get a bit scary. There's plenty enough to worry about people going off on one and becoming violent or aggressive on a plane without politics being involved. But anyway, here's a story that combines both. After first issuing a public apology for failing to boot off a passenger from a flight who went on a bizarre foul-mouthed pro-Trump rant, Delta Airlines has now handed the passenger a lifetime ban. This rant was posted on Facebook after it was caught on video, and you can see the video at tinyurl.com. Now these are all lowercase letters /JXWLF6A. This incident happened on a plane as it was preparing for takeoff from Atlanta. Delta said in a statement, "We are sorry to our consumers who experienced this disruption. We have followed up with the teams involved and all agree that this customer should not have been allowed to continue on the flight. Our responsibility for ensuring all customers feel safe and comfortable with Delta includes requiring civil behaviour from everyone. The behaviour we see in this video does not square with our training or culture, and follow-up will continue so that we can better ensure our employees will know that they will be fully supported to make the right decisions when these issues arise. A staff memo was posted on the airline's website on the 28th of November, where Delta Chief Executive Ed Bastian said that the individual displayed behaviour that was loud, rude and disrespectful to his fellow passengers. He added that he will never be allowed on a Delta plane again. The video was posted by Emma Braun, and the recording has gained more than 2.3 million views on the Facebook website. Braun told the Allentown-based newspaper The Morning Call that she witnessed the man shouting pro-Trump phrases in the terminal in Atlanta while waiting to board her flight. Delta's Bastian said that I want all of you also said in the memo, also want to make sure that all of you know that we have your backs. And he was addressing the staff. He went on to say the heightened tension in our society means that more than ever we must require civility on our planes and in our facilities. We must stay true to Delta's core values and treat one another with dignity and respect. Have you seen the video? How would you have handled it if somebody was going off on a rant on your flight? Would it have made you nervous? Would it have made you angry? Would you have felt that you needed to get up and do something about it? All very dangerous things to do, but when you're on a plane, you're very enclosed, and that sort of thing is not what you need. Have you experienced anything like that? Have you ever videoed a passenger going off on one of your flights? Please do share your flight aggression stories at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Well, this is the end of the 199th John Guinn Travel Show. If you've been to Basingstoke for a weekend break, go to the theatre, do some shopping, please do share your tips at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show and any pictures you have as well. As I just mentioned, if you've been stuck on a plane when somebody goes off on one, if you've got any first-hand experience you can share with us, again, Facebook page is the place to post it. I'd like to know how you felt and what happened. It's not something I've had to deal with yet, but I'm dreading it when it does happen because it must be really scary. I've done my first ever non-travel consumer advice post there too, and on this week's show. If you've had problems with your purchases online, how did he get dealt with? Did you contact the UK ECC? And if you didn't, why didn't you? I'm interested to know why they're not used. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I didn't know anything about them until I got them on my show a few years ago, so maybe that's the problem, but let me know if you've ever heard of the UK ECC other than on the show when I've been talking about travel consumer rights. As always, if there's anything you want to hear on the show, any information you want to hear about, town, city, country, or tips on travel and how to get the best deal, please do let me know at the Facebook page and I'll get somebody on to talk about it. And I do hope you can join me next time on the Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com, where each week I'm checking it out before you check in.